Hey everyone, it's me again, Rose from the Philippines. Coming back to you with another setup tutorial on how to work on this minion here. It has a different color because this is my prototype. And I roomaged my bead supply and I only have this much yellow. So I just made a prototype, but I'm gonna show you how to work on this minion keychain here. This is suggested by a viewer named Miss Bima. So I have limited supplies of beads, but ones that we're gonna use right now are the following, which is this nylon monoline string here that is 050 mm, a pair of scissors to cut the string. We will need some jump rings to attach it to make it a keychain, and some jump rings. We might use a needle to poke the holes if ever it gets clogged. And then our main material are the chalk beads. You can also use acrylic beads, but I think this is much better because you can really see the color. So these are chalk beads that are 6 mm in the following color. We need some yellow ones, a black, a white, and a blue one. So those are the materials that we're gonna need to start this project. So I just studied how to do this a while ago, and I have jotted down notes for it. It has about 8 rounds to it with a foundation cluster of 6, and my suggested string length for the body is approximately 1 meter and a little bit over 1 yard. So that's my suggested string length, and I will put the information on the description box below, okay? The body part of the minion has a cylindrical shape to it, just like a capsule. So start from the bottom part where the jumper is. So take your string, which is 1 meter and a little over 1 yard. Hold it so that the first end is on your right and the other end is on your left. So we're gonna start with the blue one. So put 5 beads on the right string, and then silicop with a blue one. So this is a term I frequently use wherein we insert our right string going to the left, our left string going to the right. Just in one bead, we're gonna align both ends and slide that one bead going to the rest of the beads, forming our foundation cluster of 6. Okay, so we're gonna continue on working the first round. So we're gonna form a cluster of 6 first. Put 4 beads on the right string and silicop with 1 blue bead. This is gonna be the jumper part of the minion. So it should look like this. Take your left string, insert it through the next bead adjacent to the first cluster of 6. It should look like this. Here we're gonna form a cluster of 5. So put 2 beads on your right string and then silicop with a blue bead. So there's that cluster of 5 after the cluster of 6. Take your left string, insert it through one adjacent bead, and form a cluster of 6 next. So it is an alternate between a cluster of 6 and a cluster of 5, and it has 6 clusters to it all in all. So put 3 beads on the right string, silicop with a blue bead, so now there are 2 clusters of 6 in between cluster of 5. Take your left string, insert it through that one adjacent bead and form a cluster of 5. So that's gonna be an alternate. I'll let you do it on your own. So there should be one cluster of 6 and followed by a number 5, a 5, a 6, a 5, a 6, and we're gonna end up with a 5. And I'm gonna catch up with you right before we close, okay? So now our piece should be looking like this, like the heart. So take your left string, insert it through 2 adjacent beads, and here's we're gonna form a cluster of 5. Put 1 bead on your right string and then salikop with a blue bead, and then we're gonna start our second round. Insert your left string through 1 adjacent bead. This we're gonna form a cluster of 6. There should be 2 clusters of 6 in between clusters of 5 for this second round. So it's still gonna be a blue one. So first off, put 3 beads on your right string and then salikop with a blue bead. You can see the points of the first rounds, and there is where we're gonna put the clusters of 5. So since this next one is a point, we're gonna put there a cluster of 5. So take your left string, insert it through that 1 adjacent bead and form a cluster of 5. So put 2 beads on your right string and then salikop with a blue one. For the next ones, we're gonna follow instructions. There's gonna be 2 clusters of 6 and then a cluster of 5 for the points. So to work on those, to form a cluster of 6, take your left string, insert it through 2 adjacent beads. Just make sure that within the cluster there is that acquired number of beads. For the next one, it is a cluster of 6, so put 2 beads on the right string and then salikop with a blue one. And you can do this on your own now. Make sure that there's gonna be 2 clusters of 6 in between a cluster of 5, and I'm gonna join with you before we close, okay? Okay guys, so our piece should be looking like this. So as you can see, the item has folded up already. So now we need to close our second round. So take your left string, insert it through 3 adjacent beads, and here is we're gonna form our cluster of 6. So just put 1 bead on the right and then salikop with one blue bead, and we're done with the jumper part of the minion. So we're gonna introduce another color for our third round, and most of this is clusters of 6 for the third round. So take your left string, insert it through that 1 adjacent bead and form the first cluster of 6 by putting 3 beads on your right string, which is the yellow one. So we're gonna use yellow now, and then salikop with a yellow bead. To form our first cluster of 6. And then we're just gonna continue on. So for the next ones, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to take our left string, insert it through 2 adjacent beads and form a cluster of 6. Put 2 beads on the right string. Sometimes it has that part there, so set it aside. Put 2 beads on the right and salikop with the yellow one. And this is what we're gonna do for the next clusters across or around. So just insert your left string through 2 adjacent beads, put 2 beads on the right, and silicop with the yellow bead all around, and it should be about 8, and then we're gonna close with our 9th, and I'm gonna join with you after that. Okay guys, so our piece should be looking like this. We have made 8 clusters of 6, so now we're gonna close with our 9th cluster of 6. So take your left string, insert it through 3 adjacent beads, and then close with a cluster of 6 by putting 1 bead on the right and silicop with the yellow bead. Okay, so the next round, so it should look like this. The next round we'll have that bottom part of the eyes, so we're gonna incorporate that to the next round, and we're gonna start it. Okay, insert your left string through that 1 adjacent bead, and we're gonna make a cluster of 6. Most of these clusters gonna be clusters of 6, but with the eye part. So put 2 beads, 2 yellow beads on the right, followed by a white one, and then silicop with a yellow bead. So now we have that white part there. Take your left string, insert it through 2 adjacent beads, then we're gonna put 2 white beads on the right string and silicop with a yellow one. So it should look like that. And then insert your left string through 2 adjacent beads. This is the last bits of the eyes. So put 1 white bead first, followed by a yellow one, and then silicop with a yellow bead. So it should look like this for now. Okay, after making those parts where the eye is starting, we're gonna just make clusters of 6 around. So we're gonna count how many times we're gonna make it. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters of 6. And we're gonna make it all in yellow color. So please do that first, and then I'm gonna catch up with you right before we close. Okay? Okay, by now we have made all of those clusters of 6 around and ready to make our last one, which is also the 9th cluster for this round. So just insert your left string through 3 adjacent beads, and we're gonna close our 4th round by putting 1 bead on the right string and then silicop with a yellow bead. Okay, and then we're ready to start our 5th round, which both have the strap and the goggle parts of the minion. So take your left string, insert it through that 1 adjacent bead. So we're gonna make our first cluster by putting 1 yellow bead on the right, followed by 2 black ones, and then a white one for the silicop. So now we have that. Insert your left string through 2 adjacent beads, and this is the goggle part. So we're gonna put 2 white beads on the right string and silicop with a white bead. And then we're gonna take our left string again, insert it through 2 adjacent beads, and form the second part of the goggle by putting 2 white beads on the right string and silicone with the white bead. So now we have formed this. So the next clusters will be the goggle part. I'm gonna show you that next. Okay, for the next ones, we're gonna insert our left string through 2 adjacent beads, and then we're gonna put 2 black ones on our right string, followed by a silicone with a yellow bead, and then we're just gonna make this again by inserting our left string through 2 adjacent beads, putting 2 black beads on the right and silicone with the yellow, and we're gonna do that 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and I'm gonna catch up with you right before we close, okay? Okay, so we have made most of the goggle parts there, so now we're ready to close this round. So insert your left string to 3 adjacent beads. We're gonna put 1 black bead on the right string, and then we're going to silicone with the black one. Then we're going to work on the 6th round. So it should look like this by now. So ready to form our 6th round. So insert your left string through 1 adjacent bead, and here's where we're gonna form a cluster of 6 in yellow. So put 3 beads on the right string, all yellow, and silicone with a yellow bead. And then we're going to take our left string, insert through 2 adjacent beads, and form another cluster of 6 by putting 2 beads on the right and then silicone with a yellow bead. So for the next one, we're gonna make a cluster of 5 in between the goggles. So we're gonna take our left string, insert it through 2 adjacent beads. We're gonna form a cluster of 5 by putting 1 bead on the right string and then silicone with a yellow bead. And then you're just going to alternate between 2 clusters of 6 followed by a cluster of 5 all around. So just gonna do that. Put 2 clusters of 6 and then a cluster of 5, 2 clusters of 6, and then we're gonna close with a cluster of 5, all in yellow, and you can do it on your own, and I'm just gonna catch up with you after. Hi guys, so we may have made those alternates between 2 clusters of 6 and the cluster of 5 round. So now we're ready to close our 6th round by inserting our string through 3 adjacent beads, and then we're gonna close it with a cluster of 5. So just silicone with a cluster of 5, and then we're going to close for our 7th round. So we're just going to close this so that it will have the shape of a capsule. So now our string is coming out from this bead here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna insert our left string through 1 adjacent bead, and then take our right string and insert it going to the right through that 1 adjacent bead, and here's where we're gonna form a cluster of 6. So put 2 beads on the right, which is yellow, and then silicone with a yellow bead. So now we have that. Insert our string through 2 adjacent beads and form a cluster of 5, So this is gonna be a alternate between a cluster of 5 and a cluster of 6. So put one bead on the right and then silicone with a yellow bead. Okay guys, so continue unclosing our capsule piece, which is our Minion keychain. Take your left string, insert it through 3 adjacent beads. And then form a cluster of 6 by putting one bead on the right string and then close silicone with a yellow bead. Insert your left string through 2 adjacent beads and form a cluster of 5 by putting one bead on the right and then silicone with a yellow bead. Take your left string, insert it through 3 adjacent yellow beads. Put one bead on the right and silicone with a yellow bead. So now we're on our last cluster. So insert your string through 3 adjacent beads. And here is where we're just going to silicone with one yellow bead to close that capsule. And then take one of your string, pass it along the top part, which is what we have formed here. It is the shape of a cluster of 6 to close it. So pass it along around and then make it sturdy by passing it through a series of beads. And the next thing I'm gonna show is how to put the eyes, the leg part, and the arms. Okay? Hi guys, so now that we have closed our capsule and have inserted both our strings through a series of beads within the beaded piece, just cut it like so. And then we're gonna introduce another set of strings. So I have pre-cut my string for about 1 yard. So I'm hoping that it will be enough for the eyes, the arms, and the legs. So now it should look like this. So we're gonna insert our string through this white part of the goggles here, also for the next one. And here's where we're gonna put the first eye. I don't know if that's the iris or the pupil, but we're going to silicone with one black bead. Just like the first time, we're gonna align both our ends and slide that one bead so that we can put that eye over there. Okay, so what you're gonna do is take the left string, insert it through this eye part here, position it there. Take your other string, insert it inwards through this bead here, also for the next one. And then we're going to hold it like this so that our string is coming out from this bead, 2 beads here. And here's where we're going to silicone with a black bead for the next eye. Silicone. And then position our first string going to the left. Insert it through that bead there, that yellow bead, and also for the next one from it, and also for the next one. And then set it aside first. Take your other string, insert it through this bead here, also for the next one, and also insert it through the 3 next yellow beads next to it. So now we have positioned both our strings to where we are going to put the arms. Okay, Okay guys, to continue on, so we have now positioned both our strings to where we're gonna put the arm part. So just take the first one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put 3 yellow beads followed by a black one. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our string, insert it through the 3 yellow beads, not counting the black one, so that it will go like this. And then we're going to pull our string so that it will go to the body part, just like so. And then we are going to insert our string through a series of beads where we can set it through that part where we're going to put the feet part for the right side. So just insert it, and we're going to insert it here. So you can see this is the foundation cluster of 6. We're going to put our string here so that we can form the feet part. So just do it and insert it through that series of beads so that it will go to that acquired position. Okay, so now it is there. We can now take our other string and do it just like this, just positioning our string through the opposite side of the first string. Okay? Okay guys, so now that we have made the other arm and inserted our string, it should be coming out from this foundation cluster here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our other string first and put 2 yellow ones there, followed by a black one. And then take our string, pass it through the yellow one backwards, not including the black. We're going to pull our string so that it will go to the body part. And then we're just going to insert it through a series of beads to make it sturdy. Just take it and tighten as you go also. That's what I usually advise, to tighten as you go. So just insert it inwards through a series of beads for about 3 to 4 inches so that it wouldn't go off easily. Do that to the other one, and I'm gonna catch up with you later, okay? Okay guys, so by now we may have inserted both our strings, so this is now our finished product. What's left for us to do is to insert our keychain through the top part using some pliers and a jump ring. So that is the finished product. I hope that you enjoyed making them as much as I enjoy teaching them to you. If you have comments or suggestions, just put them on the comment box below. As I have said, this is suggested by a friend named Miss Bima Farzana. Hello Miss Bima. All of the information will also be in the description box below. And for other reference, written pattern for this, I will put some notes on my blog that I will also put on the description box below. So that's it from me. Happy beading everyone. If you want to make this violet one here, the process is the same, just change the colors. So it should be black for the pants, and then the other parts are in white and violet. Okay?